So look, the best salespeople in 5 years will not be the ones who resisted AI. They'll be the ones who learned how to use it and use it constructively, not just for the sake of using it because it's a nice, bright, shiny object, and kept refining it and sharpening human skills alongside with it that AI can't touch.
Welcome to the Master Dealmakers Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmakers Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 277. And today we're going to talk about 5 tasks you need AI for in sales. So in the last episode, we talked about whether AI is going to replace your sales job or not. And we talked about some of the roles that are going to be safe and some other roles that are likely going to be replaced in the short term. This week, we are going to talk about some tools that are going to make your life as a salesperson a lot easier. Powerful tools, things that will give you an advantage over your competitors who are not using them yet. So if we looked at 2 salespeople with selling the same product, with the same leads, same market, and we looked at them over a 12-month period, if one of those salespeople was using AI tools daily and the other one wasn't, in 12 months' time, the gap between them would be enormous. So let me tell you what I mean by that. So in the last episode, we talked about which jobs AI will and won't replace. Today is a practical follow-on. Here are the 5 AI functions every salesperson needs to be using right now. So these aren't gimmicks. They are the functions that directly replace the most time-consuming, low-skill parts of a sales role, freeing you up for the human stuff that actually closes deals. So prospecting. So hours spent manually researching companies, scrolling LinkedIn, and trying to figure out who to call and what to say before you say it. You can absolutely get AI to do this. So AI can now pull together a prospect's business profile, recent activity, pain points, even trigger events like new hire, expansion, tender in seconds. You walk into every call knowing what matters to that particular client. Trades and construction. Imagine knowing before you call a plumbing contractor that they just won a large commercial fit-out tender, that they've been hiring, and their Google review mentions slow quoting. That's your opening. So tools like Apollo.io, Clay, LinkedIn Sales Navigator plus AI, ChatGPT and Claude for research prompts. The next one is outreach follow-up. So writing individual emails and follow-ups from scratch, forgetting to follow up, inconsistent messaging across your pipeline. What this does is it can draft personalized outreach based on the research from the first function, which is obviously, researching what's going on with the client, then building a full follow-up sequence, email, LinkedIn, call prompt that runs automatically until someone responds. You set it up once and it works while you're on site or in meetings. Now, there is a caveat on this. I believe that all outreach, because there is so many people using AI outreach, needs to have a human element. So you need to vet it. You can't just set it and forget it. You really do need to have a human element to it. But the good thing about it is that it can give you some really good ideas, and then you effectively just need to knock it into shape. So the strike connection is the S. So seek out the right prospects, done at scale. The AI handles the volume. You handle the conversation and the conversion when they say yes. So a common mistake, don't use generic AI written templates. As I said, the best results come from feeding the AI your own language, your own stories, your own way of speaking, and then letting it scale that, and also inspect what it does. So Instantly.ai, Lemlist, Salesforce, Einstein, HubSpot AI sequences will all be useful in that regard. So call recording notes and transcriptions. So manually taking notes, trying to remember what the prospect said across 3 conversations ago, is why deals stalls. AI call tools can record and transcribe every conversation, then surface the moments that matter, objections raised, buying signals, competitor mentions, key commitments. After the call, you get a summary, next steps, and often a coaching call. So a coaching score. So for Zoom calls, this is amazing. There are some easy free tools like Fathom that I've used for quite some time now. Otter, I think, is another one. What's the other one? There's a whole bunch of them. But in person, there are these little tools, these little recorders that you can get, and they will transcribe what's discussed, so you can actually pay attention to what your client's saying to you, and you don't have to spend as much time writing notes. So those ones I'm starting to implement with the clients that I work with. And what it means is that you don't have to be online. Like, you can just walk in with these things are like the size of a pen, and you can just walk in there and do your meeting, and then you'll have everything pretty much transcribed and recorded and ready to go for whatever proposal you need to put in place or whatever. So for sales managers and coaches, this is huge. Instead of writing, along to hear one call, you can review 20 calls a week, spot patterns across your whole team, and coach on real data. So this is an area that I'm really starting to go deep on with the clients that I work with. So review your own transcripts. Most salespeople have never actually read back a conversation that they've had. You will spot, this is the most powerful thing. So if you do it yourself, you'll spot a whole bunch of things. If you get somebody like me to have a listen, I will spot some incredible ways that you can improve. So I can't reiterate how powerful the whole recording your calls and reviewing the transcripts can be. It is massive. So there's a whole bunch of different, so Fireflies, that was the one that I was trying to remember. Otter, there's one called Chorus, Gong. There's a whole bunch of them. They're just called AI transcribers. They're easy to find. A proposal generation. So hours building proposals from scratch, inconsistent formatting, generic quotes that don't speak to what the client actually said that they wanted. So you can combine this with the AI stuff from your initial conversation, and you can build this into your proposal. So proposal will pull from your call notes, CRM data, and it will generate a first draft of a tailored proposal in minutes. Best ones personalized based on what the prospect actually said with their priorities. Speed to proposal is huge. In fact, speed, full stop. Speed when you get a new inquiry, speed to get back to people quickly. If you're quoting commercial or construction fit outs, the business that sends a clean, tailored proposal within hours, will have an advantage, most definitely. AI makes that possible consistently, not just when you happen to have a free afternoon. So the human layer still matters. You need to make sure that this is all checked. So it's the 80-20. So in fact, it's the first 20 involves the human. Then you get the middle part, so the 60% done by the AI, and then 20% at the end where you check it. So the 20, 60, 20. The goal is speed plus quality, not just speed. So Proposify, that's a pretty popular one. PandaDocs, Quilla, I've had a bit of a look at. ChatGPT with your template. So the next one is pipeline management and deal forecasting. So gut feeling forecasting, not knowing which deals to prioritize. Finding out a deal that went cold only after you've already lost it. So what this does is it is effectively a CRM that's powered by AI, uses tools to analyze your pipeline and flag which deals are at risk, which ones are moving well, where you should focus your energy in any given week. Some tools predict close probability based on email engagement, response times, and deal velocity. So for business owners managing a sales team with relatively large pipelines, even if your sales team are only dealing with, 10 to 15 new inquiries per week, they are going to accumulate. And so this is a very, very powerful tool that can replace some of the heavy lifting of what's in the pipeline, meeting with actual data. You can see which rep has a healthy pipeline, which one's got a lot of deals sitting that are stale, and you can coach accordingly. So the CRM stops being a chore. You fill in after the fact. It becomes a tool that helps you predict what to do next and prioritize. So there's a couple of, there's Salesforce Einstein, HubSpot, Clary, Pipedrive. I also work with a particular CRM called Go High Level, which is good. It really just, one caveat is, are you going to implement Salesforce or HubSpot? They can be very, very, very expensive alternatives, depending on what you're doing. So it just depends on the size of your business, your average transaction size. So that would be my only caveat before you go and rush out and buy HubSpot or Salesforce. It needs to be consistent with the type of business and the size of your business and where you're at in your growth curve. So prospecting and research, outreach, follow-up, call recording, proposal generation, pipeline management, 5 functions, all available right now with free tiers or low-cost entry points. So don't try to implement all 5 at once. Pick one that costs you the most time right now and start there. So follow-up's your biggest leak. Start with function 2. If you're flying blind on your pipeline, go to function 5. So the big picture is none of these tools will replace the skill of selling. They free you up so that you can actually spend more time talking to clients and doing the activity that is actually going to give you the biggest return on the time that you're investing. So the goal isn't to automate your entire sales process. It's just to remove the friction and make you more efficient. So if you want to know where your biggest time and conversion leaks are right now, reach out and apply for a sales diagnostic. You can do that at www.jblakerx.com. You can actually apply and register for your sales diagnostic. And what we'll do is we'll map your current process against these 5 functions and show you exactly where to focus first. So look, the best salespeople in 5 years will not be the ones who resisted AI. They'll be the ones who learned how to use it and use it constructively, not just for the sake of using it because it's a nice, bright, shiny object, and kept refining it and sharpening human skills alongside with it that AI can't touch. So I hope today has been valuable. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies and maximize your sales process with new episodes every other week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive, free, no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.